get my 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the most awesomest homesteading channel on the planet that doesn't really have anything whatsoever to do with homesteading off the grid. Welcome to Camp Bigfoot Sasquatch up here at the campground where the gnats are out in full force. So guys, we have a couple of things going on today. I want to read you an email that I received yesterday from one of our followers, been following us for a long time. It came at such an appropriate moment, and it came because this email came. You're going to get the story that you get here this evening in today's video. Okay, I'm going to point out that today's video is being brought to you in part by one of our sponsors and one of their products, the company CC. It's SEESII, and what they've sent us today to demo. I cut it open to look at it, make sure everything was in here, but I haven't really messed with it. I want to show you. It's a really awesome, well, it's an electric pole pruner. It's a handheld pruner, one of which, just like this, I already have that I've been using for the last couple of years. But this one actually comes with, aside from 2 batteries and the charger, comes with a telescoping pole that actually extends to 15 feet. So I'm going to take about 90 seconds to demonstrate this product for you. It does come with an owner's manual. I don't need to read it because, like I said, I already have one of these, at least a handheld type, and I have used very similar products from them to this, like a pole saw, but this is just a pole pruner. But I went through the owner's manual when I opened the box. Very easy to understand, very simple. The batteries, again, when they come with the charger, just plug it into the wall, put the little thing in the battery there to charge it, right there, up underneath there, okay? It comes with 2, which is wonderful because you can leave one charging while you're using one, so then you don't have downtime. If you're out working and your battery dies, you can just swap them. Comes with a nice little packet of gloves, safety gloves, a harness to wear around yourself if you want a little extra support, and a little screwdriver. And pretty much that's all there is to it. Now listen, to put the battery in, you simply do that. Now you'll want to charge it fully before you actually go out and do a lot of work with it, but these things always come with enough of a charge to do a demo video. To turn it on, you see the little power button, just hold that down. You'll hear it beep and it's on. Now to activate the shears, you need to do a couple of quick clicks. Boom, you're ready to go. Now watch. It's trigger activated. And these things really cut well, okay? I've cleared out about an acre worth of brush and undergrowth, manicuring my forest that we're allowing to regrow. This place was a hay field when we bought it 9 years ago. And in the back 3 acres, we've got 6. The back 3 we've let kind of reforest because we wanted a forest. And now that, there's trees in here that are, my tripod's busted. I just had to order a new one, but I'll give you a little look, see what I'm talking about. See all those trees back there behind the wood pile? Those were not there when we bought this place 9 years ago. And we have trees in there now, poplars, some black cherries that are, and some white pines that are over 20 feet high. So I'm going through and clearing out the undergrowth so that it can be a well-manicured forest. Yeah, I could pay somebody to come do that for me, but I actually enjoy doing the work myself. It's a good physical activity. I can skip going to the gym that day. And also, I feel like I'm bonding with my land more when I'm out here doing the work myself. You know what I mean? I know it's not for everybody, and if you hire people to do your stuff, that's A-okay. Nothing wrong with that. I just like doing it myself. So anyway, I want to show you how the extension pole works. As far as lengthening it goes, it's pretty simple. You just click that open and bam, look at that. You just heard that beep. That's the safety feature of this product. Basically, it saves the battery. If you haven't used it for 30 seconds, it will go into standby mode. Double click it again, and then you're back to working it. I do want to point out that when you turn this thing off, close the clippers, push the button, hold it down. There, it makes that weird sound. Now it's off, okay? I like to close it when I turn them off, just so, I don't accidentally grab it and pick it up from the top and hurt myself, or so my son or my wife doesn't. And FYI, it's like 90 degrees out here, so that's why I'm sweating and wiping my face. So to connect the clipper part to the saw, now this is the bottom end. So there's an adjustable head. You push in this button, so that adjusts the head to different angles. I'm going to put it straight up. You simply put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. It only has one piece, so there we go. And then you put the battery in the other end down here on the bottom, just like a jigsaw puzzle, like that. Okay, now wow. So I got to come up here and turn this on again, it appears. Okay, it's off. I somehow did turn it on, but let's turn it on. Okay, it's on. Double click it up here at the handle to get it to where it's activated. But then from that point, oh yeah, you've got this part of the handle on the opposite side. I want you to see this. There's a safety button. You've got to have that pushed down. You can hear it clipping, and then you pull the trigger. So it's like a safety feature. Now look. See that? And again, this pole can extend out to 15 feet. These are quality products. CC has been sponsoring me for a few years. I've used some of their mini chainsaws, their longer pole saws. This one is, in the link will be in the description box below to buy this product on Amazon. It's approximately, I looked it up, it said $159.99, but they were offering me a $30 discount, so it was $129.99. I don't know what you're going to see on your Amazon thing. I don't know if they're giving me a discount because the product's on sale, or if it's because I'm a Prime member, or if it's because we buy so much stuff on Amazon. I do know this about Amazon: the same thing often costs different prices for different people. That's just something these online companies do. A lot of times if you look at a product because you're like, man, I think I might like to get that, and you look at it a couple times and you go back and you finally buy it, it might cost a little more. That's because their AI knows you're interested in it and they're jacking the price up on you. Again, that's just the truth of how things work, and I think a lot of you folks know that. So that went back into standby mode. Let me go up here and turn this off so I don't, there, well, I wanted to close it for safety purposes. So let's close it. Now it's off. But see, it's simple. You see how easy that is to use? So I want to thank CC for sending me this product. My compensation is that I get free stuff from my sponsors. So just to disclose that for you, full disclosure. Now, let's get to what I really came here to talk to you about today. I'm seeing there's a bird over there. It's a gray gnat catcher. It's a beautiful bird. It has a nest in here. It squawks at me in the mornings when I'm up here drinking coffee. That's how I know. Okay, so anyway, I honestly believe that you get what you give. Not just physically. I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit right now. My wife and I, dearly, giggly girl, right around the time we'd been together a couple of years. Daniel was a baby. He was 2 years old. So we'd been together about 3 years, and we were living under quite dire circumstances. I hear my chickens screaming in the background. They hear me talking and they miss me. I hang out with my chickens every evening, and I came up here to make a video so they can hear me, but they can't see me, so they're like screaming for me. So just ignore that. We were down and out in the Philippines. We didn't have any money. We were literally surviving at this time off of whatever foods we could go out and harvest in the jungle. We would dig up roots, boil them into soups. I would help the local fishermen carry their boats out of the water in the mornings, and they would give me handfuls of squid and fish. And I was trying to make it as a writer, trying to make it as a social media content creator, and things were not going well. But she and I discovered a philosophy, really. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called The Secret. Okay, that's what it's called. And it's also known as, more formally, the law of attraction. And it basically states that when you have a thought, even just a thought, and this is why it's so important what we think, you send an energy into the universe. And this can actually scientifically be measured now. So you send this message into the universe. And the theory behind this philosophy is that the universe will give you what you're telling it you want. And here's where it can be dangerous, because basically what the universe receives is that frequency is what you're constantly thinking about. And this is why negative-minded people, this is why I stay away from pessimists, naysayers, ne'er-do-wellers, just negative Neds, negative Nellies. Because the universe doesn't care. It doesn't discriminate between good thoughts and bad thoughts. If you're a negative-minded person and your thoughts are always, or if you worry, if you like to worry, if you say, oh, this terrible thing's going to happen. I'm broke right now. I don't have a lot of money, and my car is very old. It's got a lot of miles, and I'm just afraid that the transmission's going to go out. And if it does, I'm not going to be able to afford to have it fixed. I'll be screwed. Well, if you're constantly thinking that, and you're constantly sending that message to the universe, the message is going to give it right back to you. Remember, I said we get what we give. You're giving these negative signals. Lo and behold, don't be surprised when the transmission goes out on your car, because that's what you've been sending out. Inversely, if you say, you know what, hey, I'm momentarily a little, underfunded. My car's old, it's got a lot of miles, but I know this transmission's strong, the motor's steady. This vehicle is going to last me until I'm able to get another one, and that's going to happen sooner than expected, because I'm doing the work I need to do out there in life to succeed, and good things are going to come my way. That's what the universe is receiving. That's the frequency you're sending out, and guess what? It comes back, and things are going to go your way, as long as you're out there doing the work. Now, you can't just sit there at home in your chair, day drinking, saying, oh, I'm going to inherit, $500,000 here real soon. You hear that, universe? No, it doesn't work that way. I think in the Bible, it says something to the effect that God helps those who help themselves. Yeah, prayer's important, but so is getting up off your ass and going out and doing the work. You know what I mean? So it's a combination of the two. You send good vibes, you send good messages, you send positive messages, good things, positive things happen, okay? Now, a psychiatrist or a psychologist might explain it a little further and say, here's the thing. Good things and bad things happen to everybody. It just happens to everybody. And I would say, yeah, that's 100% true. And that psychiatrist might go further and say, the positive-minded people, the people who are always on the upbeat, they just have a tendency to see the positive things more because they're positive-minded. And the negative Neds, the pessimists, the cynics, people who are very cynical, always critiquing the way everybody else does everything, oftentimes things they've never had the backbone to try themselves. Well, they will see the negative because that's what they're looking for. I would agree with the psychiatrist who would say that. I've often said it myself. Be careful how you choose to view the world around you, because that's how you'll end up seeing it. For example, if you view the world as a cold, dark, terrible place, that's what you're going to see. As of this recording, you're going to be sitting in front of Fox News or CNN News, and you'll be watching Iran attacking Israel because Israel bombed Iran's nuclear sites and blah, 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 blah. World War III is on the horizon. If that is what your focus is, that's what you're going to see, and you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel terrible. All right? And if you're that guy or if you're that girl 3 days ago, what was it going to be civil war because of the LA riots? I mean, people aren't even talking about that now because they're talking about Iran and Israel. And guess what? 3 days from now, there'll be something else out there that's going to just destroy the world. I've been on this planet more than 50 years. And for that 50-year period, something was supposed to have destroyed the world. And well, here we are, Margaret. We're still here. So anyway, so Dearly and I started practicing this. We just decided to say among ourselves, hey, listen, let's stop focusing on how down and out we are in the Philippines. and let's focus on doing the work that needs to be done to succeed, to get ourselves out of this situation, to be able to get a house with running water and electricity. That was the start. To be able to afford to buy food. Then maybe move out of the jungle back into the city with more modern conveniences, and then at some point get to the United States. And all those things happened. I did the work, and that's back then. I used to work. I often talk about how I only work 90 minutes a day now, and that's true. Unless if I make a YouTube video, then I work like 5 hours because these are so long-winded. Now I work for a couple of hours a day on the days I make videos, but typically what I do now is I work about 90 minutes a day, but I'm only able to do that because back then, 15 years ago, I was working 12 hours a day, and it built upon itself. And my social media, Facebook pages, YouTube channels, all this stuff, we are literally closing in on 2 million followers and subscribers because it's all built on itself. So I'm able to kind of sit back and enjoy. You reap what you sow. I did a lot of sowing for a lot of years, so I'm just harvesting beans and sweet peas right now in 90 minutes a day, and I get to spend the majority of my time doing the things I love doing, like spending time with my son, my wife, coaching youth sports, all these things. And again, back when I was down and out in the Philippines, that's what I saw. That's what I was throwing out to the universe. I was telling the universe, we are going to succeed. We are going to get to the U.S. I am going to get to move back to the greater Charlottesville, Virginia area because I love it here. I lived here many years ago. I love this area. A lot of wonderful people. The university is beautiful. I'm a huge football fan, as you know. My son plays. And we get to go to the UVA football games every weekend when it's in season. Just love it here. And we made it happen. And we're really living the dream. So, anyway, last weekend we had, and this is why the tent's up and everything, we had our end of the season flag football team camp out. This is something that me and the other guys I coach with and a lot of the players that I've coached for many years and some of these other coaches, we've had the same players for all these years. We just kind of started this tradition 3 or 4 years ago. At the end of the spring flag football season, we have a camp out up here, spend the weekend. Some of their parents come, some of them don't. A lot of the kids just come. About half the team shows up, and the half that they're our core group. These are kids that me and the other guys have coached in football and basketball for years. They're like second sons to me, aside from my son Daniel. They're some of his best friends, and their parents are some of our best friends. Some of the best friends that my wife and I have made are people that we met through youth sports, and it's crazy. It's just, I love it. They're wonderful people. There's so many advantages to having your children or your grandchildren involved with youth sports. So anyway, last weekend, I was going around picking up some of the kids that were coming. I had Daniel in the car with me. One of his buddies had spent the night before. We went to pick up this other kid. And then this other kid texted Daniel, and he's like, hey, when are you going to be, or what time should I come by? And so Daniel said, hey, we're picking up so-and-so. He's only 2 miles from your house. We can come get you if you want. So the kid asked his mom, and she said, yeah. And she's a friend of ours, and so's this kid's dad. So we go by to pick up this kid, and this kid's mother had gifts for me and Dearly, because Dearly doesn't coach, but she's at every practice, she's at every game, and she has been for the last 8 years. She cooks food for the team. She will, if we have practice, she will literally cook a bunch of food. A lot of times it's lumpia. She likes to make those little Filipino spring rolls, and everybody loves them. The kids are always excited at the end of practice to eat Dearly's food, and Coach Forbes, Heath, from Heath's house, a buddy of mine who has a YouTube channel I hope you've subscribed to, he likes to cook for the kids too. So he'll often take his trailer, and he's barbecuing or smoking burgers and pulled pork barbecue, and Dearly's got the Asian food, and it's just a wonderful time, man. There's so many benefits to being on our team, man, because we don't just do practice and send you home. We feed you first, So we go to pick up this kid, and his mom has gifts. She gives me a bottle of wine and a bouquet of flowers for Dearly. And she goes on, and this woman does this at the end of every season. She thanks me for coaching her son and all the other kids, and she was talking about how And I agree with her on this. She said the most precious resource any of us have is our time, because that's limited. And she thinks just like me. We can always make more money, but we cannot make more time. And she says, you know, you and Dearly both give freely of your time for all these kids that aren't even your kids. And I told her, I said, no, correction. Yes, they are. They become our kids. And I thanked her. I said, because guys, this is, and I told her, it's crazy. I don't hear that a lot. And I coach tackle football in the fall. I did last year. And up until then, I always coached flag in the fall. I coached basketball in the winter. And then I coached spring flag football in the spring. About once a year, I will have a parent thank me. Honest truth. You think you might hear it more. Now, me and the other coaches, I will speak on their behalf. We don't do it for the pats on the back and the attaboys. We do it because, all of our sons play, and that gives us something we can do with our sons. We are fortunate enough to have the ability to donate our time to coach. I know there are a lot of dads who would love to do it, but they just don't have the time. They're still working maybe in the old economy. They have to be at their job, or maybe their job requires much more time than maybe some of us who are a little older and more established. I'm in my 50s. A lot of dads of the kids I coach are in their mid-30s. And when I was in my mid-30s, I mean, that was me 15 years ago, putting in 12 to 15 hours a day to get to where I am now. I could not have coached back then like I do now. So I totally get it. These people are not deadbeats. They want to be, they are involved. They are as involved as they can be. And a lot of them would like to be more involved. Their circumstances just dictate that they can. Totally get it, right? But we only have about one parent a year. Thank us. So I told her that, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry that you don't hear it more." And I said, "No, I'm glad that I don't, because as you were thanking me, and this is a true story, I was getting chills, because I never expect to hear it, but when I did hear it, it sounded wonderful. So it felt good, and so just." Ever since that, and it's been a week, I was just in my mind thinking, why don't I do for somebody else what that woman did for me? Why don't I just almost randomly pick somebody that maybe I could pour a little praise on or something like that? And ironically, there's a person who he's a dad of one of the kids that I've coached for many, many years. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I would never say names. Some of these people watch my videos and they're going to know I'm talking about them. But they deserve to be talked about, because they deserve to have high praises heaped upon them. The child, who's a good friend of my son's, he is a child who comes from a divorced family, both of whom, his mother and father, are in other relationships now. They're involved with other people, married. One's probably going to be pretty soon. They're pretty intensely together. And both units, like both parental figures, his biological mother and the stepfather, and his biological father and the female partner of that biological father, they bend over backwards to make sure that those kids are the number one priority for all of them. So the parents, divorced as they are, and their new lovers, they all get along. If you saw them together, you would never know they were divorced, they used to be married. You would think they were just old buddies, old chums, hanging out. The father, he doesn't go to every practice. He goes to some of them because of his job constraints. I know his situation, but he's at every game. Never misses a game. Same with, well, I mean, I just don't want to go into too much detail here. But what they do is amazing. It's amazing. And I'm saying this coming from a guy who has been divorced and who went through an ugly, nasty, terrible divorce where we both tried to destroy each other. I was in my 20s at the time. I was too young to be married. I was too young to have kids. I wasn't mature enough for either. I did something that should have never happened. And the same could be said for my ex-wife. And so when we split, it was like, I'm going to destroy you. And she's like, no, I'm going to destroy you. And probably in reality, what we did is we destroyed 3 perfectly wonderful children. Yeah. So anyway, these other couples, they've not done that. They've placed those children first, and they've made it work. And it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing. And the kid, I mostly see him with his mother and stepfather, but when he's with Daniel, he's mostly talking about his father. Now, he talks often about his mother, loves his stepdad. They've got the most beautiful stepfather and stepson relationship I've ever seen. They are closer than most biological parents are with their biological children. I mean, I can't give enough praise to these people. And so, and I'm actually really good friends with the stepfather of this kid. And I've told him and I've told his wife that's amazing what you guys have done. But what I've never done is I've never told the other guy that. I've never gone out and just told him how amazing what he's doing and how amazing that is. Because it all comes back to the extreme benefit of the child. And there's a couple of other children in the picture. And it's just incredible. I mean, if you're going to get divorced and if you've got children and you're going to go out there and live your life, they should literally make you take a class where you basically watch a video of what these couples are doing. They do it more right than anybody I've ever seen. It's crazy. So in my head, I was thinking, it made me feel really good when that woman, or that kid I've coached for years, just gave me a little bit of praise for what I do. And I thought, I should tell that guy that, because I know him. We're not friends, we're acquaintances. We know each other's names, we always speak to each other. He's somebody that I probably should become friends with, because he's a great guy. So for like all week, I'm thinking, I need to just tell that guy. And then I was thinking, well, the season's over. I probably won't see him again until the fall when football season starts and all that stuff, tackle football. But anyway, I happened to be somewhere the other day, and I'm standing there. I had some time to kill. I was actually just I'm going to kill some time. And I heard somebody behind me say, "Hey, Kevin." I turned around, and it's that guy. And I viewed that as if, I was telling you earlier about the secret. I'm sending his waves out there. I'm just thinking about, I should tell this guy this. I should tell this guy that. But then I'm thinking, well, I would need to be with him with no one else around for like 10 minutes or so, because these are very intimate things I would want to say to him. Man, I'm sending that out there. The universe made it happen. I hear somebody say, "Hey, Kevin." I turned around, and it's him. And we were somewhere where there was not another human being within sight. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where it was, not going to tell you, but it was just amazing. And I got what I was giving. I was putting it out there. I would love to tell this guy that. And it was too coincidental to be a coincidence, okay? The universe made that happen. So we start talking, and I said, there's something that I've been wanting to tell you for a little while now, and I hope that, this isn't inappropriate, but I think you deserve to hear this. And then I basically just told him kind of what I just told you. And here's the deal. I've already told the other couple this. I told them, I think it's amazing how you guys do this. You guys set the example for everybody who is, I guess they use the term co-parenting these days. Anybody who's co-parenting, they need to watch the way you do it, because you do it 100% right. Well, guess what? So's the other guy. But I don't know. I'd never told him that. So I basically told him that. And I said, I just wanted to let you know that. And I said, your son is at our house often. And when he is, I said, I can tell you so much about your life because your son talks about you so much. I know that this is what you have going on. And let me tell you, that guy almost cried. He almost cried. And he opened up to me more than he ever has. And I've been seeing him and speaking with him for 3 or 4 years, that I've been coaching his son. It was just incredible. It was incredible. And I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I had that conversation. So my point to you is this: if you know someone out there who's just doing all the right things, doing everything right, you might appreciate them for that, but if you don't tell them, they're not going to know. And when you do tell them, let me tell you, when that kid's mom handed me that bottle of wine and that bouquet of flowers and was going on and on, dumping praise on me and my wife, of course, I relayed the information to Dearly. She wasn't with me at the time. I got goosebumps and I got chills. And I enjoyed that experience. And so I gave it to the other guy. And he enjoyed that experience. And it's my hopes that maybe he'll go give that to someone else by giving praise to somebody who is absolutely deserving of it, but probably was never expecting it. Okay, now to make it even better, and I know I've been going on for 30 minutes here, I'm going to wrap it up with the email I received yesterday evening, only hours after conversing with that guy and dumping praise on him. Okay, so I got this email from one of our viewers named Darla, and she gave me permission to share this. And and again, I'm not doing this so that 5,000 of you will send me some nice email about how great I am. I know how great I am. I'm like Muhammad Ali. I know I'm the greatest. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. He really was, though. It was nice to get, and I just want to read it. I want to read it for you, okay? So Darla writes, I have to take a moment to send you this truly from my heart, this genuine thank you. You are possibly wondering why. Well, I want to tell you how you inspired me. I was at a low point in my life as I suffer from chronic pain, and I am a card-carrying, physically disabled person. I am gratefully not on a cane at the moment, but I have a genetic disorder where that can change in the blink of an eye. But that's not why I'm writing. It's because you talked about real-life challenges of your own in the Philippines, some of which I just mentioned to you. It's because you talked about those who are spending far too much time sitting in their chairs in front of a TV. It's because you shared a touch of your life history and the toxic people of your past. And it's because you inspired me to begin my own YouTube channels. You mentioned other social medias as well, but it's still a challenge for me on YouTube. But I'll get there. Mr. Crazy Lake, my 30-year Army veteran uncle, lost the use of his legs. Not because of Vietnam, not because of Desert Storm, and not even because he had diabetes. This retired airborne soldier, which I'll tell you, I was an airborne infantryman. You talk about the fittest of the fit. This retired airborne soldier lost the use of his legs because he quit using them. That's all. He spent too much time in front of his TV, true story, and video games that he was obsessed with. He simply got lazy. Folks, I'm telling you, I talk about this all the time. If you do not use your body, you will lose in time the ability to use your body. If you don't make time to exercise, and you don't have to go out here and run 5 miles like I did this morning or lift weights like my son's actually doing right now at the gym, just go for a walk like me and my wife love to do together. That's a date. Take somebody that you just really like. It can be a spouse, a child. It can be a neighbor that you get along with. It can be a friend. Just go for a walk. Walk for 30 minutes to an hour and just small talk. You'll love it. And you're getting exercise out of that. No one wins by sitting on their ass. Okay, she continues. I watch all your videos, even the demonstration ones. Well, hey, Darla, I hope you watch this one. It's a really nice pole printer here. I am not easily influenced, but your no BS, tell it like it is, influencing worked for me. I've been in toxic relationships, made some poor choices and some fabulous ones, but I'm 60 years old. I've been married over 12 years this time, she says. And a few years ago, despite the fact the first decade I worked contributing quite considerably to our marriage financially, our lives changed when my wonderful father-in-law passed away. Evil in-laws interfered with my father-in-law's will. My husband's inheritance keeps him financially secure. It's a long story, but bottom line, everything that is his. Nothing is mine and never will be. If he passes first, I lose my home. He works hard here on the homestead. His name's Rick. But it's all new to him, being a retired concrete finisher. He also supports my choice to begin my own YouTube channels, where I have given you full credit for inspiring me to do so. And even if I was to become a billionaire, my hubby wouldn't want to take from me. Yeah, man, that family stuff, it's nasty. Another topic for another time. She continues, and this is the final paragraph. I haven't made a cent and may not ever, but I'm off my arse and am never allowing TV or anything or anyone ever have so much control over me again. I lost myself for a while, Kevin, but I'm back. And I must thank you again for your many reminders of everything from if you cannot pay cash for it, or if you don't have to have it, or if it doesn't have to be brand new, or reminders of toxic people, stay away from them, and just to get up out of that chair. You reminded me I am solely responsible for my life choices. Preach, sister, preach. You rock, and God bless your wife, because it was her support that helped you. That's true. And parallel-wise, I supported and encouraged my husband. He is sober now. Good for him. There's just too much to share here. Just know I am grateful to you. Warm regards, Darla. Darla, thank you again so much for that letter. It's an amazing letter, and when I read that, guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you had any clue how burnt out I am on YouTube, I mean, that's just being truthful with you. That's why I only make like 1 video a week or 2 videos a week. I've been doing this for a long time, and sometimes I get tired, and sometimes I find myself saying, why even do it anymore? Because listen, here, these are just the facts of how this business works. I have almost 3,000 videos on this channel. And if I never made another video again ever, I get enough recurring revenue from those nearly 3,000 videos to pay any bill I have, which are few because we're not debtors, like Darla mentioned in her letter. If we need something, we buy it, we pay cash, or we'll do 0% interest financing for 12 months and make sure that, by golly, we have whatever that thing was paid off in 12 months. I would never have to work again. And sometimes I think of that and I'm like, well, why would you? Why would you force yourself to go just make a video or do anything? Well, Darla just kind of reminded me why. If there's one person out there who hears one thing I say that gets inspired to this degree to make a life change like that, then it's absolutely worth coming up here once or twice a week and making these videos. And then again, she brings up the point, you know, what's going to happen if I just stop doing everything I do and I just sit around on my butt and watch either Fox News or CNN News, or just sit there and watch a war happening live time in front of me, which would in time convince me, oh my gosh, all the negative Neds and negative Nellies and pessimists are right. The world is a cold, dark, terrible place. Be sitting around day drinking. Oh, look at that. It's 10 a.m. Time to pop a top and see how terrible the world is. Then, like her airborne soldier uncle, I lose my physicality to the point eventually to where I couldn't even walk. Who wants that? So Darla, thank you very much. And folks, here's your challenge. I want to issue this challenge to all of you. Everybody watching this video, if you've sat through all this long-winded jibber-jab stuff, think of somebody that you know who's doing everything right, or as right as they can to the best of their ability. We're all flawed. We're all flawed humans. We all make mistakes. We all, make bad choices. But think of somebody who's just out there, putting in the effort, and let them know that you notice. If you go out and you get coffee every morning and you see the same people there working, let them know, hey, I come in here all the time for coffee. You see me, I see you, I know that. But I like to compliment a lot of young people in their 20s. And I'm going to wrap it up with this. Man, there's a young man I met recently. He's 25. He's my son's trainer. Daniel has a personal trainer a couple days a week. This young man, he played Division I football for Howard University. He was a deep safety and an outside linebacker. Put himself through college, got a scholarship to play football there. He was really good. Now he's out, and he wanted to be an athletic trainer. He's building his athletic training business while at the same time working a night shift from 10 p.m. until I think 6 a.m. every freaking night, like 5 or 6 nights a week at like a distribution center. And then during the day, he's working at the local gym trying to build up his business of clients he can help train. And he trains 70-year-old plus folks who sat in a chair too long and lost their mobility. And he's helping them get mobile again. And then he's training young student athletes like my son who aspire to, do well on the gridiron just like he did. So But he's burning his candle at both ends, working 2 jobs. He didn't come from money. He doesn't have parents that are bankrolling him and letting him sit back and take it easy while they say, oh, you know, these young people today, they just have it so hard. Things are so expensive. He's out there busting his ass to go out and get what he wants out of life. And a lot of that get up and go comes from having played sports, having excelled at sports, because you learn how to win when you do that. If you don't, listen, winning is important. And I know a lot of people put emphasis on just participating, just having fun. Well, hey, that's all well and good until you reach a certain age, and Coach Forbes from Heath's house believes that age is around middle school. It's like, no, you've got to start wanting to win, because this is where life starts getting real. And once you get out of school and you're an adult, life is real. And if you always just showed up to participate, you're going to just participate at best, and you're going to be a worker bee, a worker ant. You're going to spend the best hours of the best years of your life working to make someone else rich. But if you learn how to win, and you want to win, and you have that drive, you're going to have a bunch of people working underneath you, making you rich. All right? Because you've learned how to win, and you're a winner. Okay? So that's why this guy, he's 25 years old. He's not lamenting how tough times are and how much real estate prices have gone up, blah, 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 blah. He's working 2 freaking jobs. And you better believe this guy is going to send that guy every client he can get. And I know a lot of folks associated with the athletic programs in my part of the world. We're going to get this guy so busy that he can quit that night job and just be a full-time trainer. All right? But my point of this is this. I make sure to give him praise because he deserves it. If you know someone like that, you see him, that's my challenge to you. Give somebody some praise. Makes them feel good. Makes their day a lot brighter. And it'll make you feel good too. And because that's what you're sending to the universe, it'll come back to you. You'll just spiral upward. You'll just spiral upward, and everything will just be more positive. That's what you'll see. You'll start looking around the world saying, wow, yeah, all that nasty mess is going over there in the Middle East, where it's gone on for 2,000 years anyway. But man, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at my beautiful trees I've regrown. I'm spending time with my family. I'm meeting wonderful people like my son's trainer, like my co-coaches, like my student athletes' parents. It's a beautiful world out there. You just got to go out there and look for the pretty. Get up off your ass, turn off your television, get out of the house and stop staring at the ugly. I hope somebody got something out of this. See you for more next time.